welcome back to the channel. As ever, you can find me over on Instagram at the House of Langford and at Overall Sews. I'm also on Ravelry as Mad X Stitcher, and apologies in advance if the noise is a little bit different today because I do have the window open. It is quite warm here, and also apologies for the fact that I have pretty much a blank wall behind me because most of my stuff has now been moved. So it is time for my monthly wrap up of May. It is now the 2nd of June and I've not long got back from the new place, so yeah, I don't have a lot to show you. I have 2 finishes and one that has extra bits that you kind of saw last month, and I said I wasn't going to show it again, but I will because yeah, I've added the wings that I intended to add. So you can find me on Facebook as well. I do have a Facebook page which is under the same name, the House of Langford. There is a group linked to that page, although it's not very active because I forget that it's there. Yeah, so I also have a Ko-fi account linked to this channel if you wanted to support the channel in any way. It generally goes towards things like giveaway prizes, and every now and a cup of tea. So today I have the leftover of my squash from yesterday. It's just apple squash, so I'll have to top that up at some point. And yeah, I'm using a new memory card today for my phone because my other one is currently in my laptop, transferring lots of files, so I figured I would put a new one in and start with as much space as possible because I was filming a lot on the way home and I filled up the memory card. So yeah, so we're here. But yes, like I said, the sun is shining, the window is open, so if there is any extra noise from cars and stuff passing by, then that is why. So I think that's it for admin. Yeah, can't think of anything else. So I always start the month with a set of plans or goals that I want to try and achieve. So I set myself 4 sort of targets for May. They were to finish the Triceratops, finish the Roloway monkey, do the last pieces from my Imaginist box 18 character, and then finish another turtle. Now, I still only have the shell of the turtle, so that has not been done. And there's one. I've already said that I'm going to show you the Imaginists one because I have now finished that one. And the Roloway monkey, I have managed to make all the pieces, but now I need to actually stitch it together. So I'm almost there. I've done 2 out of my 4, which isn't bad considering I've been packing pretty much every day. And I actually lost my mojo for crochet a couple of weeks ago, and I hadn't crocheted unless I was at the shop teaching, so that was mainly Saturdays and the odd little bit on a Tuesday or Wednesday. So yeah, when I was up in Scotland, I did manage to do some crochet, so I don't have it with me because it would be pointless to bring it all the way back here to film it and then take it back again. So I will pop up some pictures when I come to talk about that. But I think that's it. That's 4 minutes of me waffling. Let's get into it. So, finishes for May. And I have my first finish is Victoria, the Triceratops, and I love it, absolutely love it. Now what I realised is that in the book it suggests to make her up in shale, and I think I have steel. Now I did put the label somewhere, let me quickly find that. Yeah, so I had 100 grams of steel, not shale. I'm sure it says steel in the book. I've left the book in Scotland, so I can't check. But I have quite a lot of yarn left over from her. She's very much stuffed, very stuffed body, very stuffed head, but the rest is all squidgy, which I really like. Yeah, I had so much fun, and this frill as well for the top is so clever. It really is. I really enjoyed working this up. She is a Toft pattern from the Toft Quarterly magazine, which was all on dinosaurs. I picked that up at the Stitch Festival in March at the Business Design Centre, and this was the very first project I made out of that book. So I have now made 2 projects, which I will talk about in a sec, but I don't have it with me, otherwise I would be here. So yes, super quick to make up as well. It did not take me long. I actually don't remember. I have to check my Ravelry page to see how many days it took me, but I might pop that on the bottom so you can see how long it takes to make a Toft character. So that is the first one. And then the second one I made, so this is made in DK. So about the size of my head. And I also made Gregor, the T-Rex, from the book as well. But I made him in Stylecraft Special Chunky. So I'm going to put a picture up of, I took quite a few pictures actually, of Gregor. I made him in lime chunky yarn, and it was a lot bigger than I thought it was going to be. I actually made it for a friend's little boy who is our friend in Scotland. So, and I took it all up with me on the Friday and he was still in bits. I hadn't sewn him together, and I managed to sew him together on a Saturday morning, and we went around their house Saturday afternoon for, there was 2 football matches on. So the boys were watching that whilst I was talking with my friend. Yeah, so I actually gifted to him the T-Rex whilst we were there on that Saturday. And then I got a picture later at night where he'd taken him to bed with him, which is just adorable. So yeah, I really enjoyed working him up. And even though he's a lot bigger, it still didn't take me very long to do. I think I actually started that whilst I was at a crochet workshop at the shop. So yeah, he was super fun, and I really want to make more of them in the chunky, so I've got bigger dinosaurs. I think I'm going to end up working through that book because they're so fun and they're all different, and I used to love dinosaurs as a kid. So yeah, very, very happy with my 2 Toft makes for me. Now, my next Toft piece, I have shown you this before. I showed you this last month, and I have now added on the extras that I wanted to do. And I'm thinking that actually she no longer needs the mushroom hat. I'll still sort of list it as an accessory. There's so much hair on this. I may need to sort of trim or reduce the amount of hair that she has because it's just everywhere. So as a recap, this is the character that I made. I think her head has now turned. She seems to be facing off to the side. That's okay, but you can now see that there are some wings sticking out. So I have made, let's lift her hair out of the way. I have made the butterfly wings, which is an extra sort of bonus pattern you get with the Imaginists book if you order it through Toft, and they will pop this into your, what's it called, your Toft library. So you get the basic shape of the wings. This is the top and then the bottom. She's got big wing and little wing, and then I just made up some little spots to pop on there, and then this little stripe section here. That was the most difficult bit, trying to do that and then reverse it for the other side so that it matched. But I really like the spots. So I need to get some more pictures of her with her wings on show and then get that up onto Instagram ready for voting. But I'm very happy with my Imaginist creature. Now, she doesn't have a name though. I'm going to do another little bit of filming in a little while for, apologies, itchy eye, for my separate video for her. So if you have a name, please do pop it onto the bottom of this video, because I don't know what to call her. She was based on a wood nymph, so if that helps, I don't know. So these kind of act like vines of some sort. Some people have said that they look like when the mushrooms sort of sit on trees and things like that. So yeah, anyway, that's my Imaginists creature for box 18. Still unnamed. And I still have loads of yarn left over. Like, even with the mushroom hat, there's a lot going on with the mushroom hat, isn't there? So she doesn't need that. But there's still so much yarn. And the idea is that, no, you're not supposed to try and use every little bit of it, but I've still got quite a lot of 3 of the balls, all 3 balls. So there's plenty in there to make whatever your heart desires. And as always, I will put all the details down in the description box for you if you want to get a hold of any of these products or the subscription boxes that I have. Yeah, because I am absolutely loving working on my amigurumi at the moment. So that is it for my finishes. Yeah, 2 toys and the extra bits for a third. So let's move on to my whips, my works in progress, because I have a few more of those. That's just how it rolls. So first off, I'm actually doing a test piece. Not very glamorous. I've popped it in this IKEA bag just to keep it clean and tidy. It is called a Froctopus. It is a pattern by Rock Bowen, who is Crocheted Garb on Etsy. I'm looking down because my notes are here. And I've started working this up in Starcraft Special Aran, just because that's what I had available. It's a lot bigger than I thought it was going to be. Considering the sample that she's made is in like a yummy, plushy chenille type yarn, this is bigger than my fist, and this is Aran. So I don't actually know what hook size I've been working it up. I need to double check, really. I think I've been working up in a 4, purely because I like a tighter gauge on my amigurumi, and this is Aran yarn. And I've still got, I think I've got decreased rows to do now. Now I've put stitch markers in because that's where I'm going to put the legs. It has frog's legs and tentacles for as an octopus. Yeah, hence Froctopus. So I've popped in some stitch markers. You're meant to stitch them in as you go. So join yarn at that point and then make your leg come back and then continue working round. But I wanted to check that they would actually line up, and they didn't. So I'm going to add them on after anyway. And what I did is I folded the whole thing in half, and I've actually moved the stitch markers so that they're level. So I know that they'll go in the right place later. And I've got to continue down, add in markers for the bottom 2 legs, and then start decreasing to put the tentacles on. But what I really like is this little detail up here. It looks like little eyelids or eyelashes, which is really cute. So yeah, I'm gonna find some more yarn, because that was like a leftover ball, which I thought would be enough from when I made the poncho last month. That was a leftover from one of those balls. I do have another ball of yarn still that I didn't use, so yeah, I'm gonna have to dig that out. That hasn't yet gone up to Scotland, because I wanted to make sure I would have enough down here. And the green is in there for me to do the legs. So yeah, still need to finish that up. I think we're close to the finish of that, but amigurumi doesn't tend to take me very long, and that has taken me a while. I did not expect it to be that big. Anyway, that's my first whip. My second whip is actually in this bag, because this is the one I brought back from Scotland with me. It's in my top subscription bag, and there are 2 subscriptions in here, so I have 2 whips in this bag. So First up is the conservationist one, so Sal, the Roloway monkey. I have finished all the pieces. So we have one body. We have, I think I showed you the 4 legs before. Last month I had the 4 legs done. That's 1, 2, 3, and 4. So I have 4 legs. I have since done the head, which goes that way up, and the muzzle, which goes onto the front of the head, and I've also done the tail. Now the tail was the only bit I didn't record because I ran out of space on my phone. But that is all the pieces done, and I again have loads of yarn left over. That's 3 of the colours. And then that's the charcoal. So I still have loads of yarn, which I'm really surprised about. So what I'm going to try and do is I need to find my, I've got like a background thing that I've been recording on top of for putting things together. So if I've still got that here, I'll find that and pop that down. Otherwise I'll find something else. So that was the first one. That is the Conservationists for January of 2024. The new one is out. I have that. It's the saber-tooth tiger that I need to do. So I'm trying to get this one done. And then the second one that was in this bag is this big ball here. Now, I'd finished all of the parts of the monkey on the train home and needed to work on something else because I didn't want to try and sew it up on the train without recording it. I just like to record all the pieces for that one. This one I haven't recorded all of the bits for because I ran out of space on my phone, but I've also just recorded most of the other one. And this one is just going round and round and round. So it would be quite boring. But what I had to do is I hadn't balled up the yarn prior to getting on the train. So I had to open up the skein, whack it a bit, and then give it to my husband to hold on to whilst I wound the ball around his arms. And ended up with a giant ball of yarn, which then fell out of my hand, rolled down the carriage, and one of the people sitting opposite us went and found it for me to return it. So yeah, it's not much. This is the very start, where you start at the very tip of his tail. So I am progressing up the body now, and it will look like this. So I'm probably about here, maybe, I don't know, but yeah, so I've been stuffing that as I go because otherwise there's no way I'm getting to the tip of the tail. Yeah, so what I think I'll do is once I've stitched together the monkey, I will continue with the gharial, which is Sawyer. It's like an alligator / crocodile, and that is from the Dye Club. So I think Dye Club is coming out next month. Yeah, it must be because, or no, June. It might be coming out in June because the Conservationist one came out last month, I think. I don't remember. Anyway, 2 subscriptions that I need to finish are in there. Now, the last, I have 2 more whips. So I actually have 5 whips. Right, one is a big project. And when I say big project, it's a blanket project. I started working up some granny squares with Karen X Pantone sort of bundles that I got from the works years ago. It may have been lockdown or prior to lockdown that I got them. And I've been trying to work up granny squares with them and then realised I didn't have enough to make like a full person size blanket. So I have used as much yarn as possible to make as many single round grannies as I could, and then ran out. I had enough almost. I found that I had another bundle of black, so I made one big giant granny square for the centre using black and the coconut, and then I'll be putting pictures up so you can see what I'm talking about. So I made a central square using black and cream. So I still have the black left over, and I still had a little bit of cream left over because I want to be able to try and join it with the cream, the coconut, but I'm not sure it's going to be enough. Anyway, when I last went up to Scotland, I took up chunky yarn thinking that that was the weight of the blanket so far, the weight of the squares, and it turns out the yarn is actually Aran weight, not chunky. So the yarn I brought up was no good. And so I picked up two 400 gram balls from the wee crafty owl in Greenock and set about joining as you go all of the little single round squares that I'd done, and realised it took me an hour and 45 to crochet 25 of those little squares together. So it was going to take me some time, and I did not have that time back then. So in order to try and get my mojo back for crochet last week, I just sat down and decided, no, I'm going to join all of these little squares because it's driving me nuts. I had a couple of gaps where I didn't have enough squares, so I just made a couple more up in the black because that was the extra colour I had, and I have now joined together all of the little squares. So I have 4 big colourful squares which are all little ones. Hopefully I'm explaining this okay with photos obviously to help, but I still need to do 2 squares, top and bottom, and I don't know what to do because I'm now out of yarn of all the other colours. I still have the Aran with wool balls that I bought from Wee Crafty Owl, the big 400 grams. I still have plenty of yarn left over on the first 400 gram ball. So I might actually have quite a lot of yarn left over that I didn't intend to have. But I do have quite a lot of 400 gram Aran balls now in my stash, so it will get used at some point. So hopefully you've got an idea of what's going on with that one. I can't believe it's taken me so long. I think when I looked this morning, it says on Ravelry that I started that in May of 2022. So it's now 2 years old, that blanket. And I really want it done. So when I go back up at the end of August, my aim is to finish that blanket because I want it done. And it takes so much effort now to get all the pieces out and lay it all out in the right order. And I just need it sewn together. So yeah, that's first on my list when I go back up. Okay, finally, last whip. You may remember this. I designed this a few years ago now. I think it was 2020 or maybe 2021 for Christmas. This is my snowflake beret. So it kind of looks like a snowflake with little spikes coming out. So what I've been wanting to do for a while now is make this two-tone, so 2 different colours, so that the snowflake pattern stands out from the rest of the beret. Now I've done this with my sunshine beret, which I actually designed after this. And I've been wanting to make this one up as well as a sample for Gemma of the Little Grey Girl. So she kindly gave me yarn to do that. But whilst I was unpacking all of my yarn up in Scotland, I found the 2 that I'd originally set aside for this. So I started working on that. And I'm using her chunky, I think it's chunky merino. Yeah, ultra chunky, 100% superwash merino. So 100 grams is 100 meters. I am using Raphael, and where's the other one? Corveny. Raphael and Corveny. So they are Corveny, which has speckles of different colours, and then Raphael is this really, really lovely like teal blue. It's not coming out the right colour on the screen. I do have a photo though, which I'll pop up in a moment as well. So I caked those up by hand when I visited the wee crafty owl for Knit and Natter on Thursday, and took along my notebook because it's written in here. And I was looking for it thinking, where do I start though? Which bit of my, like which one of my written bits is the correct one? I couldn't remember. So I finally got going with that, because what I remembered was the first 7 rounds of the snowflake beret and the sunshine beret are the same. So if you can get yourself started on one, you can get yourself started on the other. It's just the extra rounds after that that are different to make up the extra pattern. And I'm working this up in my 6mm Phoenix hook from Pedro's Plaques, which I absolutely love. This is one of my favourite hooks. It really is. I was sitting there for a little while thinking, what hook did I actually use for the previous ones? And I went back through my photos to see which hook I had for the sunshine berry. Now I actually did the sunshine berry last year as well. At Wee Crafty Owl. Yeah, last year. So when I first went to Wee Crafty Owl for Knit and Natter, I think I had that with me. And I was working on that. That was when Ralph still had the flat last year. Yeah, isn't that funny? But yeah, I was working it up with this, and that's when I did the two-tone one using Kitey's yarn from the Yarn Whisperer. So yeah, and I know that Kitey and Jem are good friends. Anyway, so yes, 6mm I'm using. Depending on your yarn choices, you could use a 6.5, depending on whether you want it sort of a floppier style. But yeah, this is where we're at. It does curl up a little bit because I'm sort of carrying 2 strands all the time. But I'm liking the fact that there is definition in this. I was worried when I wound up the cake for Coveney that some of the dark tones would get lost against the Raphael, but I'm really happy with it. What I have realised though is that my snowflake is not, it's squiffy, if that makes sense. So it's not like deliberately, it's not straight, the sections aren't straight, but I actually don't, I do mind, but I don't want to have to sit and rewrite it all to get it straight. And I know it's because of where I put the front post trebles, but I'm really hoping it's still going to look pretty. So yeah, I'm going to continue. I'm past the point where they are the same, and I now need to work into the tips of the, is it the shorter ones or the longer ones? Shorter ones. I need to work into the tips of the shorter ones to make the extra spikes for my snowflake. So what actually, I might sit and do some of this today. Yeah, try and get at least like the main part done, because it won't take me long and I'm on a roll with it. So yeah, I might get the main flat part of it done. There's still loads of yarn left over in this one. In the sunshine one, I ended up having to stripe underneath because there wasn't enough yarn in the one colour. But we'll see. Anyway, we'll see how far we go. It is roughly the same size as the other one, so there's not much discrepancy in terms of measurements. The other one is made in James C. Brett Marble Chunky. Anyway, this has been living in my Midnight Diary bag. I've got a few badges on here actually. I've got the East Anglia Yarn Festival pin, which is from the first year. This one says Crochet Addict, which I think is from Crochet Society. Then I have my Knit and Crit, or Crit and Knit from Corner of Craft. And then I have Midnight Crochet Club patch, also from Crochet Society box. So yeah, I figured the dark blue matched quite nicely with this bag, so that's why it's in there. And I had it to hand. So yes, that one is living in there, and I'm going to keep that out yeah, I'm not going to put that away. Let's put the hook back in. I'm going to keep that out and work on that. At least to get the main top part, because I've only got to go this far, which I think is 6 more rounds. So yeah. Anyway, that's my plans for the rest of today. And that's it for my whips. That's it for my makes, my whips. And I have got 2 acquisitions. That is it. And they are very small acquisitions, so I do not feel bad. I have not bought any yarn, and having now unpacked all of my yarn, I do not need any. If you see me buying yarn, you are more than welcome to tell me off, because I do not need any. Unless I give a specific reason as to why. So I think last year I told myself that I could buy yarn if I was going to an event. If I needed it to finish a project or go with something else. Those rules still apply, but I no longer have the storage capacity. I didn't have the storage capacity beforehand, but I do not have the storage capacity to buy any more yarn. Particularly hand-dyed yarn. And acrylic, actually. So, yeah. Yeah, basically that I should not be buying any more yarn whatsoever. Unless it's for a gift. If I'm buying it to make a gift for someone and I don't have it in my stash already, then I can do that. Or if someone's asked me to make something like a commission. But I should no longer be buying yarn because it's pretty. Now, I do still have my subscriptions to Toft. I have changed all my address on them. So they will be going to my new address shortly instead of here, because I will no longer be here. And yeah, things are changing like imminently now. I've still got a lot to do here. I've still got boxes of books to go through. I've got bags of jewellery supplies to go through. But we'll get there. Anyway, let me show you the 2 acquisitions that I have. First up is the centralizer subscription from Toft. Now, I've kept it in the box it arrived in because I had this delivered to my parents' house. So that, because I wasn't sure when it would be delivered. I didn't know if, I didn't want it to come here and then me not be here. So there is also a free pattern for this most adorable mini Northern Gannet. Yeah. So I may have to make him. I've got leftovers of cream and charcoal, so he may be my next mini. Like the, I've not made a mini really. I made the golden scarab, over Christmas last year, but I've not made like anything like this. I've made the mini dolls as well for Christmas, but there we go. So yes, I have the pattern for that one. I have the headband again, which I've got quite a few of these now. So if anyone wants one, let me know and I'll send it to you for free. And yeah, so this year's centralizer collection is based on the Edwards Menagerie characters, based on all of Kerry's original drawings. So this one is the zebra, who is Alice, which I think they said was like one of the first, which is why they had a giant Alice at the Stitch Festival this year. I do have the pattern for that. And even the sticker has a little Alice on it. It's so cute. So yes, I'm not sure if this is going to focus or anything, but I will have to take a picture. It is a very, very cute Alice the Zebra stitch marker. It's so cute. So it is to celebrate the 10 years of Edward's Menagerie. And there are only 1,000 of these. Which is actually quite a lot. But yeah. So I have the first. I think this is a bi-monthly. I can't remember. I'll have to double check how often these come. So I have the first one. And I think the second one is due out next month? This month? June. I think it's due out in June. So that's my first one. I'm going to pop that somewhere safe. So we don't lose it. And yeah, so that's the first acquisition I have. That actually, I picked that out of my parents' post box yesterday. It may have been put in there Friday, but I don't know. And then the other one is I ordered a dodgy pin from Ali, who is Little Drops of Wonderful. And I ordered the dodgy bag pin, which she is selling off. For charity. So these are over on eBay, I think. Yeah, I think these ones are on eBay. So I'll put the link down below. And they are beautiful. This one is a sparkly, it's not going to photograph on here, but it's got a sparkly background. But it means that there is a raised edge, and Ali really wanted it flush. So these are the dodgy ones, so she had them remade. But it is so cute. And I did make a dodgy bag as well. I haven't... Did I finish that last month? I think I did. I'll pop a picture up of that as well, so that can be added to my finishes for May. Yeah, I used up some leftovers of my weaving that I did a while ago. Yeah. So triaxial weaving that I did ages ago. I had a piece in my project bag at work, and I just made up just a little notions bag. I think I still need to sew up the whole inside, but it's a usable bag. And I think since having stored it as well, it's now got a smudge on it, so it needs washing. Anyway, Ali was also kind enough to actually send me the actual dodgy bag pin. So I have both versions, and I can't decide which one I prefer. Can you see this one is smooth, whereas this one is not. It's sort of raised. But yeah, so I'm going to pop one of those onto my little pink dodgy bag, and I don't know where to put the other one. I don't think I have any more of my made bags here, so I might have to pop it on a different one for now. But thank you, Ali. I love them. And she included a little sticker too, which says, you are a little drop of wonderful. I really want this in a pin too, but I need to look at my finances and yeah, see if I can get some more pins. So yeah, that's all my acquisitions for May. So my plans then for June. I want to make some more turtles. I still have that shell that needs a body to go with it. But I do need to buy some stuffing because I am so limited on the amount of stuffing I have. And I think the stuffing I do have is all going into the gharial. So I need to get some more. Otherwise I can't actually make my turtles anyway. But there we go. So I want to make some more turtles because I've now got that whole bag of yummy. And the whole idea was that I was going to make those up, put them on my Facebook page, sell them, get some money coming in for them, and that would help me set up my new place. But I haven't done it. I've got 2 finished and I haven't even photographed them. I'm really slow. Yeah, so I think before I move out of here, that's what I want to be able to do. I need to be able to get a couple more done, photograph them, put them onto Facebook page, because I have a few different colours that I want to try. And actually they didn't take me long either, so you might see some more turtles. But yes, so that's the first thing I want to do. I'm going to finish Sal the Roloway monkey because I just need to sew him together, but I want to kind of do it like a stop motion, like I did with the bobcat. I did that as a stop motion and I really enjoyed that, and I've worked out where I could do things differently as well, so that is on my list of things to do. I want to make some more progress on the gharial because I want to at least try and get the body done because it's just going round and round and round. And then I do have the postcards with love blankets still here, so I need to get that. I need to get more of that done. I don't think I have a lot left though to do. I know I have 2 of the mosaic crochet postcards to do, and I think I have the 4 vintage heart corners to do as well, and then I think that's it. So yeah, I think I'm going to have to set aside a couple of weekends to just do that whilst I work on some other stuff. But actually, having now shown you the snowflake burrow, I want to get that done too, because then I can go into the yarn that Gemma gave me to do it, and get some instructions written up for how to work it up in the 2 colours. And then maybe I'll even write up the sunshine one, because yeah, I'm still behind on that too. But anyway, that is everything for this month. So what I have been doing though whilst I've been up in Scotland is taking some photos and video of the process for building my craft space. So I first started off with filling all the cracks in the wall, sanding it all down and painting. Then I had to buy more furniture. So technically I've also acquired a couple of Kallax units. I had to buy a 4x4 because my 4x4 is an Expedit, not a Kallax, and it's not coming with me because it's too big. So I bought 4x4, and then I bought a 4x1, which I was going to put in my cupboard, but I need carpet in the cupboard first. So I fit it into the room, and now I'm like, I need another one. But yeah, so anyway, hopefully that will all be put together at some point, and then you can see how that has gone from an empty room to what I'm hoping is going to be quite a nice cozy place for me to sit and crochet or to sew or make jewellery in. Yeah, but we'll see. There's one more thing I'm just going to quickly mention, and that is this. You may have remembered this from 2021. I did the 100 hours challenge and finished off the tiger in this very long cross stitch piece. Now I made this for my dad. I actually bought the kit for my dad knowing that he wouldn't do it, and I would end up having to do it. Yeah, so I have finished it, but you can see it's all very creased. There are creases everywhere where it's been on a frame for it as well. So I need to get this soaked and pressed and then get it framed for my dad. It's my dad's birthday in August, and I want to get this done before I move up to Scotland, so that he has this done and I don't have to worry about it getting it framed and then getting it shipped back here. Yeah, so I already have a price, a provisional price from a local framer who said he would do it, but I need to get it washed and stretched a little bit because it's Aida fabric and there's a lot of starch in Aida fabric. That's why it keeps its shape. So yeah, I also need to do that. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this episode. It seemed like it might be a little bit shorter than my usual episodes, and apologies for any sniffing. Haven't done that whilst I've been away, so I'm thinking it's the flat, because I used to be like this before I went as well. Anyway, enough of my health conditions. I will see you all again in the next one. Take care. Bye.